Alright friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to everything Bannerlord, showing you huge battles, and we continue on again with our small battle series here. This is our companion challenge, in which we're running around with our, I would say custom-made army, but this is a hand-picked army of 40 companions from our very late game campaign. You can see we're all 100% healthy here, and after raiding a few villages in here, we are trying to get attention from the Southern Empire. I want to fight down here because there's a map that is full of swamps and water, and I think it'll give us tactically some opportunities to defeat a large force. What's a large force in this series? Well, we've already challenged 400 or 500 troops and been successful, so we shall see. We're going to push the upper bounds. You can see here the garrison here is terrified to attack us, even though we have 40 people. 540 or 500 versus 40, and they stay inside. So here we go. Southern Empire forces have been aroused to our attention. I actually want to fight more than 495. So it looks like more armies are coming to join this guy here, this army of 495, and we are going to effectively just coax. You would never do this normally, but we're going to coax all these armies here into a battle at the same time here. That should do. Bingo. Looks like, yeah, there we go. So 735 against 40 here. We are going to fight in this hopefully watery battlefield. I've fought before in this region of the map, and there are some beautiful swamps. Now let's take a look at our opponent here. We've got an infantry heavy army with some decent archers. That army's full of archers. Okay, a lot of infantry, kind of a mixed army. Some decent high levels, but not like overwhelmingly high level troops here. Legionnaires, quite a few recruits. I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 8 out of 10. I know that seems crazy, probably. 735 troops against our 40, but I think we're going to be able to challenge even harder foes than this and potentially win. Now we could still lose this. We are showing our losses in this process. I'm just kind of wandering around with these guys and doing what I call freestyle tactics, where I narrate on the go and kind of fight these battles one at a time, and most of these are one shoots. And what I mean by that is I'm just we're fighting a battle and we're moving on. We're not going to fight the same battle 6 times in order to get a win or whatever. We're just going to do the very best we can here, one at a time, to take on these challenges. And so you can sort of see how we do tactics in real time with the army, with this advanced group of companions. Just disseminating these guys here into their proper order. After they get knocked unconscious, sometimes they get unfortunately dropped back into this top menu, and we have to sort of reconfigure who goes where. So I can cover that real quick before we get into a strategy here. Of course, the main strategy we're going to do is try to drag the enemy into a marsh here, and then once they're thigh high in the marsh, our attacks will become much more effective. Also, because they have so many archers, we're going to be doing a lot of kiting and trucking them while we're kiting. And I don't have a name for this tactic yet, but because we have such strong heavy knights, we're going to be able to basically run over the enemy archers and cause enormous damage. Okay, we're already to the back of the map here. We're going to be able to cause enormous damage while they chase after us, right? While their troops are chasing us, while their archers are spreading out, we'll be able to run them over with our knights. Which brings me back to the point I was trying to make before, the groupings here. The 1st Infantry and the 6th, those are my guys with shields on foot. I guess they're on feet too. And they mostly have javelin skills, although a few of them have a bow. And then the 4th, that's archers. Those guys, of course, have strong weapon skills like everybody else, but they are primarily bow and crossbow. Then the 8th Division is my knights. I've kind of honed this in after several of these challenges to have these 4 divisions. You can't really afford to micromanage when you're fighting this kind of battle, because I have to kill a lot more in a battle like this than normally, right? We're facing a gigantic army with 40 guys, right? We are literally outnumbered almost 20 to 1. So what I'm trying to do right now is basically lure the enemy into this marsh, right? Our troops are mainly across the water there, with the exception of our 8th Corps. That's our knights. And we are sort of dancing around. The key to this will be movement. As long as we keep moving, I'm probably going to kite early on with our infantry too. That's a pretty shallow distance between us and the enemy. As long as we keep moving though with these knights, they're very tough. In fact, I'm going to pull our guys back now. Got a little ridge here, and I need more marsh for the enemy to wade into. So what I'm effectively going to be doing is trying to triangulate the enemy's position in a way so that for them to get to us from point A to point B, they have to go through a marsh. You can see some of my companions getting wailed on here. But again, with the elite armor, high-level riding skills, a lot of them have 300 athletics. These guys can take a beating and keep on whipping ass. So we're doing good damage now just on the retreat. But we're going to retreat to the far edge of this marsh here where hopefully we can continue to kite and pound the enemy with ranged weapons. Okay, you're going to continue to see me sort of sweep through the enemy like this, right? Anytime the enemy's in a big long line, especially when they're moving, we are going to storm through here. And you see the death spam. A lot of that is simply trample damage, right? You could think of it this way. If each horse is doing the same damage as me, and a lot of them are, right, because they have 300 riding skill too, then I'm doing 30 damage to one guy. He's getting hit again by the guy behind me. He's doing 30 damage. We got to keep kiting here. We're at the very back of the map. I've kind of put myself into a pickle here. This series can end very quickly, and what I mean by that is this episode can end very quickly if I don't command better than I am right now. I have noticed that my command skills start to suffer when I narrate, but I'm still going to try to do both. I have like no room. I'm at the very edge of the map here. We're going to try to get across this last marsh here, though. If we can get out from the edge of this marsh, our guys are actually waiting amongst the enemy now. That's not good. Now, what I can do is I can drive my guys right up against this force and sort of push them back, fight off guys that are attacking our companions. I mean, it kind of seems like a hapless episode here. But if we can get them clear, if we can get them free and clear across this marsh, then I think we have a chance. I gotta get these fucking guys off our troops. Alright, so they regrouped or reformed there just slightly. The enemy gave us just the tiniest bit of breathing room, and we're gonna use that. I'm gonna kind of get in here, sort of push back the enemy a little bit more. Their archers, unfortunately, are kind of flanking us, so that's bad too. Their archers are gonna be pounding us with enfilade fire. Still, the main infantry force, which is what I was concerned about, is reforming. They're at the edge of the marsh, they're holding back, and critically what that'll allow us to do is get some distance, get some breathing room for our companions. A lot of our companions have 300 plus throwing skill too, right? So they are throwing those javelins right through the shields of legionnaires, etc., just like I do. They also have a decent amount of distance on the archers, and you know these archers are set up in just a line that says kill me. So we're going to set up our troops here right at the edge of the marsh. That way they can move in the nice flat ground while the enemy has to run around in the marsh very slowly. And it's Truck City right here. I'm dragging the 8th Corps behind me, and we're just going to simply flatten these archers, right? And again, what I was saying before, if I'm doing 30 damage and the person behind me is doing 30 damage and the person behind them is doing 30 damage, you can imagine the collective trample damage here, just like real life. If you got trampled by 4 horses in a row, armor or not, you are going to be in a very bad way. Actually, the enemy's in a very bad way here, too. Their infantry, look at their infantry lines kind of holding ground there. Well, that's a disaster, because we're throwing javelins right through their shields. They're being shot with high-level archers. I have level 35 and 40 archers in our companions here. They have a few cav kind of attacking us here, but we've destroyed most of their cav. Meanwhile, I've still got a lot of health, so we are going to attack this giant line of archers. I mean, it stretches off into the horizon like 300 yards away. But that just means there's more guys for us to kill. Right now we are having to juke and jive to not get smoked by all the arrows, and I'm definitely eating some arrows, so are my companions. But we're also doing great damage this whole time. Starting to lose some companions here, that's inevitable. With this many fucking archers, you're gonna take an assault of arrows. Still not actually sure what the best troops are for our army to face in this challenge. In other words, what our weakness will be. I think it's archers as far as weaknesses, and certainly an all heavy cav army is going to decimate us, right? Because they're going to simply be able to surround us, not allow us any distance, and destroy us with heavy horse. For sure, an all infantry army is toast. In fact, there's an earlier episode where I fight a sturgeon army, and frankly, we just decimate it with ease. Using kiting, using kill box tactics. It was fairly easy. So we've had another companion on horse. She's going to get killed. She's surrounded by archers. But look at their infantry. Their infantry is doing the worst possible thing they could, and that is just standing there at range. Right? My guys here are blocking the arrows left and right, and the infantry there is just eating javelins. It's just standing there taking abuse. Now, they may be doing that because they have so many archers. They may think, hey, we've got the advantage here. We don't have to do anything desperate. They're the ones that have, 6 archers and we have 100. But I think our archers are doing far superior damage to their archers. And we continue to trample their archers here, right? The big difference here is that their archers are taking a beating. Ours are largely unmolested, right? There's a cav or 2 in there. But that's not going to bother those guys. Those guys are used to cav charges of 150 in my campaign. I mean, if these were real guys. Those archers actually seem like they're fleeing. I think this battle actually might be over. So we're going to charge here with the infantry. They're fucking fleeing. We've destroyed this enemy so badly that they're opting for choice B. Discretion is the better part of valor. They're out of here. So we'll get a few more kills here on the way out. Kill some of these insolent Southern Empire forces. Bring more next time. The 730 was not enough, especially in the marsh here. Execute your commander here. And we carry on with this companion series. That was actually, I thought it was going to be a disaster at the beginning, but we gained just enough distance to get this marsh distance, and that was that. I mean, after that, it was just Smoke City. What did 200 run to? We obviously chased off a good amount of them. 116 ran. 14 casualties, right? So most of our armies is, well, a good part of our army is still on their feet, right? 150 kills for me. And as you can see, my companions here are actually still getting stronger, right? A terrifying prospect for the enemy, that we're actually getting stronger. Weapon skills are increasing. You can see all the arrows from the upgrades here. You know, this is, if you're the enemy, that's a disaster. Not only did you get smoked, but you're facing a tougher army here. And see this once in a while. Okay, so these guys, these 116 evidently turned around and make believe here in Fantasyland, and they want some more. So we're willing to comply with their request to die. They could have ran back to their hovels. Instead, they want one more beating here and being their blood fertilizing the marsh here. So we charge. I'm not going to do any strategies here at all. In fact, I have half my health. I might even be able to kill all these guys on my own. I did not a companion challenge. I did a solo challenge once, and I was able to take out like 100. So they have absolutely no chance. Of course, the other thing that happens when you start a new battle is all your guys have full weapons. So his head went rolling. That was definitely like a game of golf. That was a two-putt. But so in this instance, these guys have literally no chance. We probably won't even suffer any losses, right? Not only am I killing a third of them, but our guys are hammering them with javelins again. It's really sort of unfair. There, we suffered one guy who lost. Got smoked. We're going to join our guys on foot here just to get on some fucking vengeance. These cowards. Well, I guess they're not cowards, actually. I should be praising their bravery. But they're pixels, and so we're not going to do that. We're going to kill them. All right, throw a few javelins here, work on that skill. Of course, my character's maxed out, but you do gain EXP, you know, even if you're maxed out at something. If you don't know that, even if you're maxed at a skill, your character's still getting stronger. You just can't get higher than, whatever, 330 skill. All right, so this completes another one of our companion challenges. We're going to continue to roll on with this series. They're kind of fast and furious battles. I sort of enjoy that aspect of it. Compared to the lengthy, grueling slugfests in our campaign. Of course, as a side shoot from our campaign, this guy, yeah, no thanks are necessary, dude. We're magnanimous here. We don't need any of your troops, thanks. We've got our 40, that's all we need. You guys eat too much food and you don't carry your weight, so we're going to go ahead and just roll with our 40 here. No useful items for these guys, but we're going to continue this camp, No, there's no peace here. Look at my dipshit nobles, bunch of pacifists. Fucking kicking the rump for you pacifists. We fight everybody. Look, we have 1,800 strength against 18,000. No, we're going to fight on, you fucks. All right, so this companion challenge, rather, continues on. You can see here, actually, this is interesting. This is a side shoot of my campaign, and for about a month or two, I've been running around the battlefield just fighting just these small parties, and I disbanded all the other armies, and we're quickly overwhelmed. We're down to one castle. So you would see what would happen if we weren't involved back in home, so to speak. If we weren't actively waging defense and war. Basically, without our companion force, our kingdom is dust. But we're going to continue on. So let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see a specific battle, or if you're just enjoying the material I'm producing, you can let me know that too. I appreciate you fellas for watching, and I will see you guys next time.